Hi, I am going to talk about the SD WAN. There are many kinds of VPN, but every VPN has the advantages and the disadvantages. So there is SD WAN that can combine their advantages to make the VPN more better. So as the figure, it might be in a side-to-side environment. It may have IPSec VPN or MPLS or IP tunnel to connect each other. And our SD WAN needs to combine the IPSec VPN with MPLS or combine the IPSec with IP tunnel or IPsec combined with MPLS and the IP tunnel. So here are some questions about the VPN. The common cause of unstable connection between site to site. If you're using the IPsec VPN, it depends on whether the WAN is stable or not. And it's not using the static WAN IP to build the VPN. Because if you're using the dynamic IP address, it may change IP address and it will make the VPN disconnecting. So I'm going to talk about these 6 items, the advantages and the disadvantages of IPsec VPN, what to do if the IPsec VPN is unstable, the advantages and the disadvantages of the MPLS, and what to do if the MPLS bandwidth is full. What is the difference between the IP tunnel and the IPsec VPN, and how to make good use of multiple bandwidths. The advantages and the disadvantages of the IPsec VPN. The benefit is cheap, because if you have the WAN IP address, then you can build the IPsec VPN. But the drawbacks is it is unstable. What do we do if the IPsec VPN is unstable? First, you can change another IP address to connect the VPN, or you can set in a redundant IPsec VPN, or you can use in our ShareTech Auto VPN function, or enable the SMTP notification to let you know there's have a IPsec VPN is disconnected. Then I'm going to talk about the item C and the item D. The advantages and the disadvantages of the MPLS. The benefit is stable. The packet drop rate is lower. But the drawbacks is it costs a lot of money. D. What to do if the MPLS bandwidth is full? We may cost more money to improve the MPLS bandwidth. The item E and the item F. Item E, what is the difference between the IP tunnel and the IPsec VPN? The IP tunnel can let other B sites users access to the internet by a site device. But IPSec VPN is only for the LAN to LAN, so it cannot let other site users access the internet by this site. How to make good use of multiple bandwidth. The SD WAN allows administrators to set the ratio of VPN, so it may make the VPN better to use. The requirement of SD WAN. It needs IPSec VPN combine the MPLS or IP tunnel to build it. So I'm going to show you how to configure the MPLS and the IPSec VPN and the IP tunnel VPN. How to configure MPLS. As the figure, you may take a list from the ISP, then they will give you an IP address to be your gateway to connect A site and B site. So first you have to go to network in the interface to set your IP address. Then you have to go to network route to set a static route to let our device know the network segment should send to which gateway IP address. Finally, you have to set a policy to let them can connect each other. Hi, I'm going to show you how to configure the MPLS. And you may list the MPLS from the ISP, and they will provide the gateway IP address to you. So you have to set the IP address in the interface. So here is my MPLS IP, and it is the gateway. So I want my A device 15 segment can connect with B site 50 segment. So I should go to route. Then here has the SIGNET gateway. So I should select the MPLS interface and key in the detect IP address and the gateway IP address. Then I should go to the static routing to set a static route to let our device knows this network segment needs to be sent to which gateway. Then I should go to the policy, security policy, to create the policy to make them connect with each other. And I choose the source interface. Here is A site segment. The destination is B site segment. The translation is routing. The number 2 policy is for B site connect to B site, connect to A site. So I choose the source interface is MPLS. The source IP address is 50 segment. The destination is 15 segment. And the translation is routing. So that is the MPLS setting. How to configure IPSec VPN. The local IP and the remote IP, you have to key in your local and the remote WAN IP address. So it should be the public IP. The local subnet and the remote subnet, you have to key in LAN IP address. So there should be the private IP. And the IKE setting path 1 and the IPSec setting path 2, you just need to make sure it is the same in the both sides, then they can communicate with each other. The dead peer detection, you can just use hold. After you finish this setting, you will see this IPSec tunnel. And if you see this figure, it means it is connected. But if you see this figure, it means the tunnel is disconnected. When it is disconnected, you can go to the log to check the tunnel status. Then if the tunnel is connected, you can set the IPSec policy to make them can connect each other. Hi, I'm going to show you how to configure the IPSec VPN. Before you configure the IPSec VPN, you must have one static WAN IP address at least, and the LAN segment should not be the same segment in both sites. And after you make sure that is okay, you can click Add to build it. The tunnel name, you can name it whatever you want. The local IP is this device WAN IP address, and the remote IP is another site WAN IP address. So there should be the public IP, and if your remote IP is dynamic IP address, you can choose this item. Local subnet is this device LAN segment. Remote subnet is another site LAN segment. And the layers have the IKE setting path 1 and the IPSec setting path 2. You should make this setting is the same on both sides. And the dead peer detection, you can choose the hold. There are three modes to detect hold. It installs a trap policy which will catch matching traffic and tries to renegotiate the connection on demand. Clear, the connection is closed with no further actions taken. Restart. It will immediately trigger an attempt to renegotiate the connection. Then after you finish this, you can click edit. So you finish the IPSec tunnel, then you should create a IPSec policy to make them connect with each other. So that is the IPSec VPN setting.